Hello, everybody. Welcome to vlog number 25. So excited. I only have four more of these left. It's been a fun ride continuing with doing these vlogs, starting it, creating content every day. I'm in a different recording area of my home right now. My partner's outside, he's doing work, and so I'm just here in the bedroom, just like, okay. I was watching today's Friday, so it's pizza day, and I was watching The Bachelorette, and I was waiting for my partner to be done with working, and it's been a couple of hours. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna do my vlog. And if anything, sometimes I will be real, I will be honest. I did not want to hop on here and do this. I was like, oh, I don't want to. I just want to sit here on the couch. I was doing my nails. You can't really see it. Well, yeah, you can. So I love doing fun little different colored French tip nails. So I just did a classic white one, and I loved felt like doing a jelly donut kind of color. And so it's this little blue sheen to it that I absolutely love. Did my hair differently today. So usually I've been wearing it. I do heatless curls, and I've been wearing it. Yeah, I showed it in this other video that I did when I was in Denmark. And today I was like, oh, I just want to have like a blown out tousled look. And so I did use a curling iron for that, because the other one that I used for heatless curls, it I talked about it. It hurts my head, and it was just really hard to sleep in. And so I ended up just not using it. I think if I want to do, oh, my throat. If I want to do heatless curls that have that blown out feel, it just doesn't work for me. I have to actually, I'm doing a vlog right now. What? I have to actually um use a curling iron. And so I will say it looks great. Went in this room, put the ring light on. I just like, wow, okay, it looks so shiny. And I didn't like doing stuff different today, especially on a Friday, which is so funny because normally like Fridays you just want to like chill and not really get dressed up or anything. But then I've been feeling sick for a whole week now. And today I decided, like, okay, I'm ready to get dressed up, feel better myself, and my ring light died, but whatever. Um, and I applied Laura Mercier skin tint. Did not realize it was going to be like a whole beauty fashion haul. And then I just feel like I'm a lot tanner. But anyways, yesterday I was talking about how I have had to pause my Rebirth to Radiance program. And I was going to start doing and anchoring a lot of these vlogs around spiritual lessons that I've learned. And so today I was going to talk about that just for a hot second, because I don't want to be on here too long, just yapping. But for me, what I found is that I I wanted to birth something that I was so passionate about, but sometimes when you're passionate about it, you can be a little tone deaf about what your audience wants, what your audience needs, and there has to be a certain cadence. Are you even talking about that thing for a long time? Yada, yada, yada. So it's like learning to recognize that even though you're so passionate about something, sometimes it's just not the right moment or the right time, and being able to take your emotions out of it. Right. And so anytime that I find myself trying to force something, um, it means that I'm not totally aware or reading the signs of what's going on in my environment. And so for me, it was this situation of, do I still continue doing it? Do I can still continue marketing it? It's something that I'm very passionate about, but am I allowing myself to actually have that program be its own evolution, what it needs to be? And that's the hard part, is that sometimes you have this future forward, thinking, but maybe the collective isn't necessarily ready to experience it. Or maybe you yourself don't necessarily have the skills or experience to actually birth it, or maybe like not all the right resources or variables are available for you to actually execute it in a way that it could be as successful and impactful as you need it to be. Maybe there's still things that you need to tinker along the way. And so that's when you have to really put and have this higher awareness and higher wisdom of knowing to not get caught up in your emotions of wanting to forcefully create something to happen. Because at the end, when you actually birth it into the world, it becomes this premature sort of vision, right? Did you actually think things through? And I remember, sometimes working corporate, I would be around people and I would just want to execute on something, but then they would just sometimes I would think, oh my gosh, they're like pointing so many gaps and things that I haven't seen, that I haven't fully fleshed out or thought about. Maybe I need to go back to the drawing board and think of this and that, because sometimes my emotion or my excitement gets the best of me and I just think of all these positive scenarios and outcomes, because it's so easy to get locked up in this idea of, oh, just being in the feeling of what you want to manifest or outcome, and that it'll come true. But then there also has to be this realistic side to it. And so that's where you have to really think about the balancing of energies of like masculine and feminine, right? Of, the feminine holding the vision, but then the masculine is using your logos, using logic to really think things through, to think about like, what are the action steps that need to be taken? And are you actually in alignment with it? And for me, I realized, okay, there were a lot of stuff that I haven't actually thought through. And so being able to have that discernment, being able to be really judicious and strategic and intentional about how I bring it to life. And so it's understanding at the same time that even though it's on a pause, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's never ever going to happen. And I remember when I got on the spiritual journey and I had to just establish this connection with, a higher power, source, God, goddess. It's all about co-creating and thinking that there's more purpose to beyond just your finite self, like the spiritual self too. And so I always like to think that I'm co-creating with an energy, right? Shakti, that divine feminine expression, source. And I was always told that it's never a no. It's either not right now, yes, or I have something better, right? I have something better. But the hardest part is trusting and surrendering to that divine timing and that divine unfolding of it. And so as you think about those moments in your life where you've had to hit a pause, right? Think about that crossroads that you were given. Were there experiences where you just kind of bulldoze your way through it and you were very forceful and people could sense that energy, and you knew that whatever you were forceful, that things just weren't in flow. Like when you are feeling so in flow, things come easily to you. You're magnetic. And that's the way that life should be, because it gives you a signal. It indicates to you that you're on the path that's connected to your truth. You're on the path that's connected to the highest good of all. Right. And so anytime that I feel that I have a setback, I'm constantly thinking, okay, highest good of all. Right. Recently I had a setback and I was upset for about it. Like I'm not the type of person that bypasses and it's just like, oh, I'm only going to give myself, an hour to, be upset and then I'll just like move on. It's like, I know myself well. I need to dwell on it on a little bit. And that's the process that I need and the time frame that I need in order to be okay. So it's not suppressing my body and I'm not reacting and projecting on other people. And so I had a setback and I was upset about it. I let myself be upset about it. I was like, okay. And then I realized, obviously, the situation or that outcome was for the highest good because it happened. There's no need to question anything. Sure, you can like think about the what if scenarios, but then that puts you in an idea of like, creating the future or being in delusion or not being present or in reality. Or you can try to accept it and realize, okay, that is the highest good because it actually happened. And when you start, and that's like when you aren't able to truly see the full picture from a higher altitude of connecting the dots by going, backwards looking. And so that for me is the comfort that I have when I can't see what's in front of me. And, it's actually more courageous to listen to that gut instinct that you have of like, maybe I shouldn't do this right now. And at first I was like, okay, you know what? F it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it because I already put it out there. I already talked about my program. I did, promotion on it. And sometimes the best thing is just to pause and let people know that you're pausing. And actually a lot of people, they sent me a response. They're like, oh, like, I see you. I think it's great. Being able to listen and align to your intuition. And that's the part of it too, is that, I may teach these spiritual principles, but everything I do teach is embodied. Everything that I am experiencing right now is in real time. That's why I love blogging. That's why I love doing content creation and all of that stuff. As I'm talking, I'm feeling like I'm so winded because I'm still so freaking congested. It's frankly, it's annoying. And I feel like I'm like trying to catch my breath talking to you. And I realize I don't have water in here, but I'm going to cut this short. And so that's where I'm at. And so I really want you to think about in your life, you know, as someone who is learning to balance or who's on the feminine path, right? It doesn't matter what you identify with, but just tapping into your inner feminine, because all of us have the energies of masculine and feminine. But really think about a time when you had a vision about something. And do you have the ability to see that even though your emotions are like really heightened and you're passionate about it and you want it, but do you have the strategic foresight of the masculine to know when is the right timing for it to be birthed to life, right? And so thinking, for example, about a woman giving birth, it takes a full 9 months. Sure, there's like premature births as well. But are you really allowing something to fully cook? Or is it in the embryonic stage, right? And you're pushing it out, you're pushing it out. Um, and it's just like growing up too soon. That's the image that came to me. That's the concept that came to me. And so it's about learning how to be in the process of allowing that bread to bake, even though it's frustrating, even though it's hard to be in that liminal state, not knowing when you can open the oven and eat that bread and slice it and put butter on it. But it's learning to have patience, really. And so it's almost like having this delayed gratification and trusting in the process. And so again, it's that surrender, it's trust, it's faith. And so I hope that if you find yourself, you know, in this moment of wanting something to happen, but it's not happening in this moment, just know that for whatever reason, it's part of your spiritual curriculum, might not be revealed to you, but just learning to have faith and trust that everything is always happening for your highest good, and not just your highest good, but for the highest good of all. And I will always stand by this, that you may want something to manifest so badly. You may have, all of the emotions and the feelings, and you're doing what all those, whatever, those manifestation techniques. But if it's not in service to the highest good of every single person that's involved, or even the collective, it's not going to happen, right? There's like one piece of, do you feel like you're worthy of it? And do you believe that it's going to happen? And you remove all those blocks and and you have those tools for it. But then it's also thinking about, is the wish and desire and dream and vision that you have for the highest good for everyone, or is it just purely selfishly being directed from your ego, coming from your ego. And so, I really, really want you to think about two scenarios in your life, two experiences to just kind of really reflect on of when you're in a situation of when you were forceful versus when you're in flow, when you're accepting, when you're surrendering, when you're having faith. And usually in the latter part, it's the inner peace comes with that too. But anyways, I hope this served you. Happy Friday. Enjoy the long weekend. And I will see you all on the vlog later. Bye.